Hello everyone and welcome to the Ultimate Prom Guide. The first issue will be things to consider. Let's start with the dress code, or what am I allowed to wear? So firstly, you should check your school website if you have a dress code and what the regulations are. I saw that some schools also have a rule that dresses need to be pre-approved by a teacher before the prom. And also you should check if your date has to adhere to the dress code as well, if they're not from your school, or if they are free to wear what they want. Next point is the form follows function. That is really something you should take to heart to an extent. I mean, obviously you want to look pretty, you want to have your dream prom dress, but also you want to be able to dance, eat, and use the restroom, and preferably without extensive help. So my advice would be firstly to make sure that your dress isn't too poofy or too tight, because too tight ball gowns or too tight dresses make dancing and taking big steps very difficult, because your leg room is obviously very limited. On the other hand, ball gowns that are very poofy make dancing with a partner also very difficult, because they potentially step onto your skirt, or also because they possibly just can't get that close to you because of your poofy skirt. Another thing that you should consider there is that having a big poofy ball gown might require you to have some help in the restroom or in the bathroom, because all of that dress needs to be held up for using the facilities. Another thing that you should consider that has nothing to do with how poofy or tight the dress is, if you have a structured top as like a corset top, for example, this can make it very difficult to eat and also limit your mobility if it is too tight. So, how can you be comfortable without compromising your dream prom dress? First of all, make sure that your corset isn't too tight. If you don't have a corset top, but it's still a structured top, then make sure that you wear your correct size and not compromise on sizing or do vanity sizing. Sizing in prom dresses is even more messed up than just normal women's clothes. If you want to wear a dress that is tight, make sure you have a slit that can help with danceability, because you have more room to move. But also, you can choose a dress style where the dress or the skirt is only tied around the hips and then gets more flowery around the thighs and knees and calves. So that would be kind of like a compromise where you can have the silhouette of a tighter dress, but you can still have the mobility of a more flowy dress. For a poofy dress, maybe go for a ball gown that has less volume, maybe an A-line dress, just because it's way easier to maneuver. You can dance better. It's not as hot. That is something that you should really consider. A ball gown can get very, very hot with all these layers of tulle. And also, my recommendation would be to use a hoop skirt, because that way the tulle doesn't cling to your legs. You have kind of very ventilated legs when wearing a hoop skirt, and you don't trip over the fabric as easily. Also, if you want a train, if you are even allowed to have a train, and if you have a train, make sure that you can bustle it, because otherwise others will step on your train, you will step on your train, and your train will probably get tangled up with some sort of stuff, and you will be sweeping the floors. Next up would be the hair. You should be careful about the texture of the top of the dress. If your dress top has a lot of sequins or pearls, wearing an open hairstyle may not be the best idea, as your hair will get very tangled up in all these sequins. You will have a lot of frizz, you will have a lot of tangles. Not only doesn't really look that good, it also gets kind of uncomfortable when your hair just starts pulling on your dress all the time. So if your dress has a very textured top, maybe consider wearing an updo. It also looks very elegant, and it is probably more practical with the texture of the dress. Next would be shoes. There are different types of shoes. The first would be like a Mary Jane style with a clasp, a more thicker heel, not as high. That would be very comfortable for dancing. You can also wear sneakers if you like to. Another comfortable pair of high heel shoes would be a wedge. If you like that style, that's definitely something you can use. The wedge makes it more comfortable to balance on it, and it's way easier to still be able to dance in a wedge than in another shoe. Another possibility would be a sandal with a block heel and also a strap around the ankle. Having these straps around the ankle or the feet makes wearing a high heel way easier because the shoe is secure to your foot and you don't have to cramp up your feet to keep the shoe on. And obviously there's also the stiletto heel. I know it looks extremely pretty, and if you can walk in them, amazing, more power to you. Just make sure that you will probably be dancing for a long time. And if you switch to a flatter shoe throughout the night, your dress will then be too long because the dress length is tailored to the shoes you're going to wear. We will touch on that in a second. But yeah, make sure if you want to switch shoes that you either have shoes with the same height or that you just know that your dress will be longer then. So my recommendation would be either go for the Mary Janes or the sandals with a block heel. I find those styles are comfortable while still looking relatively festive. But obviously these are just my personal opinions. If you want to wear a stiletto for the entire night, go for it. As I said, more power to you. And if you want to wear sneakers just for comfort, totally understandable. Next thing to consider would be the tailor. In my opinion, you should go as soon as you have the dress and shoes, because during prom season, everyone is going to go to the tailor, obviously, because most of the time your dress at least needs to be like shortened. The straps need to be adjusted if the straps aren't adjustable. There's probably always something that needs to be altered in a dress. So as soon as you have the dress and the shoes, go to the tailor and bring your shoes. Important questions to ask the tailor would be how long they will take to alter your dress, how much it will cost, and ask them if you can get that in writing, because otherwise, if you agreed on a price but you don't have it in writing, there's the chance that the tailor will just increase the price for some unforeseen circumstance or something. So make sure that you get a proper written offer from them. So, to make the night more stressless or less stressful, I would recommend wearing cotton biker shorts if you have thicker thighs, because these will prevent your thighs from rubbing against each other. And the important thing about them being cotton is that they are breathable. You're already wearing a dress that is probably extremely hot and made out of synthetic fiber, so I would recommend at least going for a cotton biker short to give you that extra breathability and just to make sure that your thighs don't rub against each other. They can also be a great underlayer if you're uncomfortable with wearing dresses because you're afraid that you might flash someone. So wearing a cotton biker short will definitely help with comfort, in my opinion. Another thing is wear waterproof makeup, not necessarily because you're going to cry, but because you're going to sweat. I know you're not sweating on your eyelashes per se, but the sweat from your entire face and your skin could just smudge your mascara and your eyebrows and your eyeliner and your makeup, foundation, whatever it is that you're wearing. So make sure that whatever you can get in waterproof makeup, wear it in waterproof makeup. And another thing that would really help to make the night more relaxed is to have a bag with essentials. Have a deodorant, hairspray, female hygiene products, a Q-tip, maybe put some extra lip gloss in there and some band-aids if you get a blister on your foot or something like that. So just make sure that you have a little bag of essentials so that you're prepared for all eventualities. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure that you like, subscribe and comment. I hope you found this video helpful for your prom. And next time we will discuss the different styles of dresses and their pros and cons. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!